Well, it's Sunday evening, the 16th of October, and from the wind forecast here on Wind Guru app, you can see that the wind is blowing very strongly over Chesil at the moment. But the plan is that we're going to go fishing tomorrow down in Abbotsbury, because we can see that the wind, as we go into tomorrow, this is midday tomorrow, the green arrows indicate the wind is getting slower. And obviously the blue is slower still, and then obviously there's a calm spell coming tomorrow night, midnight. So we're going to plan to fish the in that pocket of weather and see what we get. So hopefully when I join you next, I'll be on the beach at Abbotsbury.
Well, hi everybody, welcome back to the channel, Fishing AT. As per the weather forecast, it's still pretty rough and wild here at Abbotsbury. The first casts are out, but there's still quite a strong swell coming in. The wind is still 15 to 20 mile an hour, but meant to be dropping, so that's good. There's plenty of weed in the water, but also quite a bit of colour, so fingers crossed for a good session today. First casts are out. Got a half a mini mackerel on a 2.0 pulley pennel, and I've got a size 1 pulley pennel with rag and squid on the left hand rod. Going to fish that for see how we go. Fishing 210 grams of lead, so 7 ounces, and I've also got a 170 or 180 gram on as well, see if that holds, and we'll see how that goes. Baits today provided by Real Fun Fishing in Portishead, so I got fresh lug and fresh rag, and I've also got some squid and mackerel from Simon Davis at Baits for U Ltd in Chepstow, where I live. So the sun is out, the wind is up, the sea is up, fingers crossed we'll have some fish. So the plan today is to fish down to low, which is about 20 past 5. And then fish up to high, which is at midnight. Not very big tides, sort of not quite neap tides, but only about 1.6 metre difference. As you can see, the sea is still pretty lively. The wind is dropping off, so it's probably maybe 10 to 15 now rather than 15 to 20 what it was when I came onto the beach. And the tide is obviously ebbing. Pretty quiet. Just had my first sort of bite on lug and squid pulley, so we'll see how that develops. A lot of people fishing here again today, and I've walked up past the Dragon's Teeth again, not so far as I did last week. So we'll see how we go. Bait's coming back pretty much untouched, and the weed in the water at the moment isn't posing any sort of problem. The sort of wave action on the tips of the rods, as you can see, you have to just keep watching to try and determine what's a bite and what's a wave. Just some detail on the rigs I'm using today. I'm using the red breakaway lead, 170 grams. And then have a Gemini snap link, and I'm using 90 pound fluorocarbon fluorocoated line from Trabucco, so it's 0.8 millimeters, and that's 92 pounds. So I use that for the rig body. Up to my I have a bead, a swivel, a bead, and then I have my Amnesia 40 pound hook length. I'm using a little plastic strip there just to give it a little bit more of a standout effect. And then down to the business end, we're using currently size 1.0 Aberdeen hooks, and just a little bit of beads there and a sequin just to stop the bait, and obviously a tiny little one of those plastic bait stops that you thread onto the line to prevent the bait shooting up the line. Obviously when you've baited up, you clip up and you clip the hook onto the lead there at the base, and when the lead hits the water it shoots up and releases the hook into the tidal flow. So basically those are the rigs that I'm using today. Still very quiet here. I'm seeing the odd fish being caught. People below me and people above me have brought in what look like whiting. So the fish are here. Just got to find a tactic that actually works. So pulley pennels on 2 rods with rag and squid, and then I have a 3rd rod with a big bait, mackerel bait or whole squid, fishing a little bit closer in. Well, I certainly didn't see the bite on this fish, and I'm actually not sure what it is. I'm wondering whether it's something called a dragonet. I don't know. Very small, very pretty fish. I've got it in a bucket of water. He's taken a very big rag bait and lug on a pulley pennel. As I say, didn't see the bite. Very pretty. I'll get him out. You can see beautiful colours on him or her, and I'll have to have a little look in my book to actually see what that is. Whatever it is, it's a new species for me. I saw a video from Ian Clark. He said he'd had 39 species at Chesil. I checked my records, I've had 16, and now this is my 17th. So, but I don't know what it is. Not sure if I've got a fish here. No, whatever it was. That's just... oh no, I think it's just where the tide has been pulling it in. Not sure whether there's anything there actually. Well, it's low tide now here at Abbotsbury, and it's been a very slow afternoon. Facebook intelligence confirms that that fish was a female dragonet, and as yet that is beating the blank, the only fish we've caught today. Very hard going. Bait's coming back untouched pretty much all the time, and I'm fishing 3 rods. There are fish being caught, I just can't connect to them myself. Anyway, as always, a lovely end to the day, and we've got to just keep going. Have faith in the tactics. Well, the sun has just set and we've got a lovely red sky, although there's not much delight on the beach for me at the moment. Glorious sunset as always here when the sky is clear, but unfortunately the fishing remains, for me anyway, very, very slow. But I'm enjoying it. It's my 1 day a week, out on the beach, and nature is certainly doing its finest here. Absolutely glorious cloud formations, and where the sun is, or the setting sun is catching the clouds. My wife thought the fish was a lesser spotted brownie, so at least she made an effort to try and identify it. I'm hoping, obviously, that as the tide is now turning, the fish will come on the feed, but they certainly haven't been feeding much at all this afternoon. Tactics are the same, still fishing 2 rods with size 1, size 1.0 pulley pennels, and a bigger rod with a 2.0 big fish or squid bait. I know there's a couple of people fishing down from here, father and son. They're certainly catching the odd fish, whether they're whiting or what, I don't know, but they're certainly regularly catching. So they're there, and that's why it's the sport we love, because it can be challenging at times to catch when everybody else around you appears to be doing so. But I'll just catch this lovely cloud and stuff, and hopefully we can oh, I've got a slackline bite, hold on, that might be something. Let's have a look. Or whether it's just the lead broken out of the seabed there, I don't know. Oh, that hasn't been happening. Anyway, come back to you if that bite develops. Well, the different rods had an absolutely cracking slackline bite from a very, well, relatively small tub gurnard. So nice to get a second species. Absolutely beautiful fins on him. He took a lug pulley. Just put him back in there. I'm pretty happy with that, even with the horrible sea state that we've got today. It's nice to see that the gurnards are still here. Still quite slow, but just had a good bite from a old faithful dogfish. So it's 7:25 in the evening. Just my third fish of the session so far in nearly 8 hours of fishing. But fingers crossed now that the darkness is here, we might catch a few more. Well, it's gone 9 o'clock and catching a few doggies now. This is the second one I've had in quick succession. Quite a big one actually. Let's get him back. Well, it's still slow going, but here's a small conger, probably a couple of pound. Gave a good scrap. Took a mackerel on a pulley pennel, so something a little bit different to the dogfish I've been catching. So let's get him unhooked and put him back. Well, it's not the biggest codlin in the world, but it's a codlin. It's 11:30, so I've been fishing for 12 hours. Whew, feeling it a little bit now, but pretty chuffed that I got the first codlin in the bag. Well, I haven't had a fish for a while. I lost a couple in the surf, but here's an angry conger. He's about 3-4 pound, taking on mackerel. Had some pouting, but still pretty quiet, and just the one cod so far. Anyway, let's get this one unhooked and put him back. Well, I opened up that cod that I had, and he was stuffed full of tiny little crabs, hardback crabs, at least 3 or 4 that were inside him. So that's what he's been feeding on, other than the bait that he took with me. And I was chatting to a lad who's just walking back now, and he'd caught a few cod on crab himself, so and he'd also had a smooth hound, so he'd had a good evening. Well, good morning everybody. I fished until about 2:30, I think it was. It was a bit intermittent with bites and stuff like that, so decided to call it a night. And I just had a couple of hours kip in the car park here at Abbotsbury. Beautiful sunrise, and you see the lovely trees silhouetted against the hills there. So a bit of a mixed session, a few dogfish, a couple of congers to 3.5 pound. I had a cod at 40 centimetres, so probably about a pound and a bit. Tub gurnard, pouting, and a dragonette, which was the first time I'd ever caught one of those actually in my life, and that was the 17th species for me here at Chesil Beach. So I don't know whether you can see me. I want to thank everybody who's liked and subscribed to my channel. Wish you tight lines, and hopefully we'll be out again soon. So from Fishing AT, it's good morning actually, and we'll see you again soon. Take care everyone, bye.